Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Georgie, and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Chainsaw Man chapter 166. So, what did I think about this week's chapter? Honestly, I thought this week's chapter was fantastic because it once again showcased what Fujimoto's so good at, which is subverting our expectations. Because I was expecting it going into this chapter, you know, having a little wacky, like, silly adventure at the brothel with Denji and the rest of the crew. But that definitely didn't happen, and I think that's a major prop to Fujimoto as a writer for being able to 100% just, you know, give us a 180. Like, none of that happened, and it was actually a very emotional and very in-depth character chapter dedicated to Denji, which I thought was fascinating. Now, before I go any further with this week's chapter, I just wanted to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my Chainsaw Man, as well as all my anime and manga content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into this week's chapter. So this week's chapter starts off in a very fascinating way where we see pretty much the Denji and Katana Man and Asa, they're discussing going to the brothel, which to me was hilarious because I was like, okay, oh wow, we're really gonna go with this. And I saw a lot of people theorizing actually that Kobeni was gonna be in the brothel, which that would have been very funny, but it didn't happen, and that's a shame because we all expected Kobeni to show up. But it's okay, I'm sure she'll show up one day eventually, fingers crossed. But what happens is we see them discussing at the beginning of the chapter, you know, that they're gonna go to the brothel. He's like, I actually own one. It's like, you can get yourself a happy ending there. And then Denji's like thinking about it, and Asa's like, no way, you think Denji is thinking about this? My man is hungry, he has been through a lot. You really think the only thing in his mind is something like that? And while she's saying all of this, you pan to Denji, and he's just like like he's thinking, I'm like, oh no, Denji, no. And then he's like, you know what, I actually haven't you know, I haven't stroked it in a while, you know, like I haven't jerked in a while. So, and I was like, oh no, Denji. And he's like, you know what, I think that's like the best option. And then Asa's like, excuse me? Like, she's so disgusted, but he was like, listen, like, I know it's like scientifically proven, like, you know, as guys, you know, like we have to like release it somehow, we gotta release our stress and all that. So like, I think the best way is to like, you know, jerk it. And she's like, are you serious, bro? Like, are you kidding me, bro? Naruto's missing, your apartment just like got destroyed. Like, are you really just thinking about that? Like, it's like, yeah, like, I'm a guy, that's like art therapy, like of course I'm gonna think about it. And Asa's like so disgusted by the whole situation. It was hilarious to see Asa just being like, I'm over here being so nice to you, and you, what are you thinking about? You being a pig, like you're just being a pig, a gross pig, can't believe you're like this. And this whole exchange was hilarious. I thought that was like very funny. Just the fact that Asa was like, excuse me? She looks so mad. Like, and I would be too. I'd be like, are you serious, bro? You can't be thinking about something like that. And when Denji's like, yeah, but it's like, you know, something the guys do, bro. It's nothing too big. Like, what's the big issue? I just thought this whole back and forward exchange was hilarious. And what ends up happening is, as you know, he even is like, Denji at one point is like, come on guys, we can agree with it, right? And it's just dead silence. Like the other Chainsaw Man fanboys, the Kobeni's brother and the president of the Chainsaw Man Club, they're just all quiet. Like, and it's hilarious because you're just like, bro, like, I mean, they don't want to say it out loud, but I'm kind of with Denji on that one, right? Just kidding. But what happened is they eventually do get to the brothel, and you're like, okay, here we go, fun time's about to begin. But sadly, a top 10 anime betrayal happens, manga betrayal at this point, which is that we see the tragedy that is, you know, Katana Man's brothel completely burned to the ground and destroyed. And you just see Katana Man like so sad, and Denji's like, no, Sideburns' brothel is destroyed. And Asa's like, like you just see her kind of being like, yeah, that's right. Like, it's just like so funny how these two guys are just like so devastated by this whole situation. And Asa's just like, oh well, what a shame, you can't do anything about it, right? And what happens is eventually you see this humorous chapter go from very humorous to very sad and very depressing, because we see that it starts raining and Denji just like completely loses it. Like, my man has a breakdown, and it's very sad because he just goes on about how, you know, he's messed up in the head. Like, because he's like, are you serious? Like, Nayuta's missing, my pets are dead, my apartment got destroyed. Like, it's always because I'm thinking, like, I'm thinking about like getting it on, and I'm thinking about like being horny and all that. Like, this is the reason all of this keeps happening to me. And he just keeps repeating this, like, this is my fault, like, this is totally my fault and it sucks. He's like, you know what, like I promise, like, oh, but the Chainsaw Man, it's not about like it's not about protecting people and all that I wanted to be Chainsaw Man or any of that. The reason I wanted to be Chainsaw Man is because I wanted all the ladies to be all over me. And we've seen that iconic panel, you know, in part 1 when he's like, the ladies love me, they really, really love me. And we do know that Denji's entire motivation to be Chainsaw Man was to, you know, pretty much get some tail, you know, just, you know, chase some skirts and get some tail. And eventually, you know, he starts realizing, like, you know, like, it's all my fault. Like, it's because I was thinking about just, like, you know, sex and, like, nothing else. Like, it's because I was horny. I was always thinking with my you know, my dick, like, straight up, like my man just said, it's like I was thinking with the wrong head. And pretty much he just breaks down, and it's like he's all like, he's vulnerable. He's like, you know, it's all that pent-up aggression that Denji has been piling up this entire time in the story finally being released in a very, like, sad way. And I thought it was very great in Fujimoto's part how it was raining, he's just like, you know, his face punching the floor, and just, he's in pretty much despair. Like, he's blaming, like, he's like, it's always because I'm thinking with the wrong head, it's always because I'm horny, or everything that has happened in my life has, like, all the terrible things has been because I was horny, because I was just, you know, stupid and like an idiot, and I was just trying to get it on. And it's very, very sad just seeing it play out like that, because, like, yeah, that we do know that's pretty much the events of part 1. You look at Makima, you know, Himeno, Reese, every time Denji has trying to get at a girl, it didn't go well, you know, and it was all because he was trying to get it on with them. And like I said, my theory has been that, you know, at the end of part 2, Denji will discover true love, and that's something that I definitely feel like it's even more of a definitive proof is this week's chapter, where we see, you know, just the amount of pain and distraughtness that Denji's on right now because of the events that has happened recently. And how pretty much we end the chapter is like, you know, he's like, it's all my dick, like, it's all the fault of my dick, like, I wish, like, I didn't have, like, he's just like going off like, it's all because of that, like, I hate my life, I always make the decisions with the wrong head. And then we see Asa, you know, Yoru taking over Asa, and he's like, so it's all because of your pecker, huh? Like, that's, like, I think that's what Yoru calls Denji, like his private part, he calls it his pecker or something. It's like, what? But I mean, Yoru was like hundreds of years old, so she's old-fashioned, right? But she's like, okay, so that's the issue, right? It's like, hey, you, and then she's like, yeah, what? It's like, come over here, like, let me cut it off. And you're like, what? Excuse me? Excuse me? If a lady that I had a complicated relationship with was like, hey, I come to this dark alley and, like, I'll chop it off for you. Like, excuse me? What? Listen, I know some people might be into that. Definitely not me. I'll be like, dude, I'm out of here. Like, that's you're a red flag. What are you going on about, bro? Like, I only kissed you once, and you over here trying to, like, cut my pecker? Like, what? And pretty much that's how the chapter ends. And I'm like, damn, like, that's a one way to end chapter, you know, because like I said, we all predicted Kobeni's gonna, you know, go in there. He said she's gonna be in this brothel, like, it was gonna be the dark, like, ending for Kobeni. We thought all these like, scenarios and, you know, not conspiracies, but theories, there you go, all these theories, and none of them played out. But it was great because I love that about Chainsaw Man, you know, it's those kind of series where you can really, like, it's those series that you're supposed to expect the unexpected, and that really lives up to the hype, because chapters like this I absolutely love. You know, it's those chapters that we have an idea in our heads, like, oh, it's gonna play out like this, but it doesn't play out like that, and it's really awesome. Like, you know, it's always fresh, very surprising, and it also hits you in the heart, you know, especially these emotional moments with Denji trying to, you know, realize that, you know, he's just a horny teenager and there's consequences to that, and he's, you know, he has to overcome those struggles that he's dealing with currently. And hopefully Asa's there and, you know, eventually helps him out. Definitely not by cutting off his pecker, but definitely helps him out in the future in some way, in an emotional support type of way, you know. But with all that being said, what did you guys think about this week's chapter? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys thought it was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Chainsaw Man, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.